The stars looked peaceful that night, but peace was an illusion. In the far edges of the galaxy, a silent war was already beginning. Planets were burning. Fleets were vanishing. Empires that had lasted for thousands of years were falling within weeks. The alien species of the galaxy had fought wars before, but this time, something felt different. Something unseen was moving between the stars. Commander Zell Thor of the Varn Dominion watched the holographic map in disbelief. Blue lights, his fleets, were turning red one after another. Reports came in from every sector. Unknown enemy, his officers said. No communication. No mercy. Ships destroyed. Colonies gone. Every attempt to track them failed. The attacks were too fast, too clean, almost surgical. For weeks, the Galactic Council tried to find the truth. The greatest minds of 50 species analyzed fragments of battle recordings. Strange energy signatures. Weapons no one had seen before. The attackers didn't speak, didn't demand, didn't show themselves. The Council called them the ghosts. But they were not ghosts. They were humans. No one in the galaxy even knew humans existed. Thousands of years ago, Earth had been ignored by ancient explorers who found it uninteresting, primitive, isolated, not worth their time. Humanity was left alone, to rise and fall on its own. And humanity did rise. Quietly. Slowly. While the galaxy fought over territory and pride, humans learned, adapted and built. They spread in secret, beyond their solar system, using stealth drives and AI networks so advanced that even the oldest empires couldn't detect them. They saw the wars, the chaos, the arrogance of alien powers, and they waited. For the right moment. And now, that moment had come. In the middle of space, a small planet named Carthos 9 went dark. It had been home to over 2 million Varn citizens. When the rescue ships arrived, there was nothing left but silence. The buildings still stood, but every system was dead. Not destroyed, disabled. Power drained, communications fried, atmosphere stable. No bodies. Just silence. Commander Zell Thor stared at the reports again and again. Who could do this? He asked. His second officer, a nervous reptilian named Herrick, shook his head. No one has this kind of technology, sir. Whoever they are, they didn't want destruction. They wanted control. Zell Thor narrowed his eyes. Then they're not invaders. They're preparing for something bigger. Far across the void, aboard a hidden black ship orbiting a dying star, Captain Aidan Rourke watched the same event unfold on his screen. His voice was calm, almost cold. Carthos 9 secured. No resistance. No casualties. A soft female voice answered. It was the ship's AI, Vega. Mission success rate, 100%. Shall we proceed to the next target, Captain? Rourke stood up, his eyes reflecting the blue glow of the monitors. Yes. But make it quiet. No one should know we're here, not yet. The ship, Erebus, moved silently into the void. Its black surface absorbed light, invisible to scanners. Inside, hundreds of humans worked in silence, their uniforms marked only with a small symbol, an Earth encircled by stars. Humanity had returned to the galaxy. But not as explorers or diplomats. They came as ghosts. Back in the Galactic Council Hall, chaos spread. Dozens of alien ambassadors shouted over one another. It's the HFY. They've developed new cloaking tech. No, it's the Dominion trying to start another war. Impossible. Their fleets are losing too. No one knew the truth. And that was exactly how the humans wanted it. While the Council argued, the human fleet moved from system to system, never staying long, never revealing their faces. Every planet they touched went silent. They didn't destroy. They erased. But not all humans agreed with this path. On a small moon outpost, Lieutenant Sarah Niles watched the mission logs and felt a growing unease. We said we'd protect humanity, she whispered. Not start another war. Rourke's voice came from behind her. "This isn't war," he said quietly. "It's survival." Sarah turned. "Survival doesn't mean becoming monsters." He looked at her for a long time, then simply walked away. "You'll understand soon." Outside, the stars glowed faintly as another alien world went dark. No one could see the truth yet, but the galaxy was about to change forever. Because for the first time in history, humanity wasn't the hunted. They were the hunters. And in the deep silence between stars, a message began to spread. No one knew who sent it. No one could trace it. It appeared on every major communication network at once. They never expected humans in the Galactic War, until it was too late. The message vanished as quickly as it appeared. The Council panicked. Fleets mobilized. The galaxy prepared for war. But the humans were already watching. Already inside. And as Captain Rourke stared at the galaxy map, a faint smile crossed his face. "Let them come," he whispered. "They've forgotten what we are capable of." The war had begun, but no one understood yet who the real enemy was. The galaxy didn't sleep that night. Every screen, every transmission, every commander saw the same message. They never expected humans in the Galactic War, until it was too late. No one knew where it came from. The signal was perfect. No trace, no source, no pattern. It appeared and disappeared in less than 5 seconds. But those 5 seconds were enough to send the galaxy into fear. Commander Zelthor of the Varn Dominion stood on the bridge of his battlecruiser Tyron's Flame. His eyes burned with anger. "Who are these humans?" he growled. His officer, Herrick, tapped his screen nervously. "There are no records of them, sir. The database shows nothing. No home planet, no species file, no genetic record." Zelthor's claws scratched the metal rail. "Then find something. No one erases history that perfectly." But far away, in the shadows of a dying sun, the Erebus floated in silence. Inside, Captain Aidan Rourke was in the command chamber, watching hundreds of blue holographic dots blink on the map. Each one was a human stealth ship, positioned across enemy systems like invisible daggers. "Vega," Rourke said quietly. "Report." The AI's calm voice replied, "Phase 2 complete. 12 planets neutralized. No detection." Rourke nodded. "Good. Begin infiltration of the Council's communication grid." "Already in progress," Vega replied. At the same time, on a moon colony deep in the Varn sector, engineers worked to recover wreckage from Carthos 9. Among the debris, they found something strange. A small black metallic shard, no larger than a hand. It hummed softly, pulsing with faint blue light. "Is it a weapon?" one scientist asked. "No," another said. "It's something else. It's alive." The shard suddenly released a wave of energy, knocking the scientists off their feet. One of the computers came alive, displaying strange code. The alien symbols twisted, forming new shapes, English letters. The screen read, "Observation confirmed. You are being watched." Then the shard melted into dust. The scientists froze. None of them spoke. Outside the lab, Varn soldiers rushed in, but it was too late. The data was gone. Every recording, every backup, deleted. Word of the incident reached Commander Zelthor within minutes. He stared at the report. "So they're not only powerful, they're warning us." "Sir," Herrick whispered, "what do we do?" Zelthor turned to the stars outside the window. "We find them. Before they find us." Meanwhile, back on the Erebus, Lieutenant Sarah Niles couldn't stop thinking about the planets they had silenced. She sat alone in her cabin, replaying the mission logs. Thousands of lives displaced. Systems shut down. Whole worlds in darkness. She opened a private channel. "Captain Rourke, this is Niles. We need to talk." Rourke appeared on her screen, calm as always. "Make it quick, Lieutenant." "Why are we doing this?" she asked. "We said we'd protect humanity, not become ghosts killing from the shadows." These people don't even know we exist. Rourke looked at her silently for a moment. Do you know how many times Earth was ignored? How many times alien scouts passed us by, called us primitive, weak? We watched them destroy each other for centuries. We learned from them. We waited. Now, we act. We're not killing, Niles. We're erasing the threat. But what if we become the threat? She whispered. He didn't answer. He simply ended the call. Outside, human ships began to move again. One by one, they entered warp space, their hulls glowing faintly as they vanished. The operation continued. On the other side of the galaxy, the Galactic Council finally voted to form a new task force, a united fleet of 20 species to find the source of the attacks. They called it Operation Dawnlight. Zelthor was chosen to lead it. We will find these humans, he said during the council broadcast. And when we do, they will learn that the galaxy does not bow to shadows. But deep within the dark sectors, humanity was already watching the broadcast. Rourke stood beside Vega's glowing core. They're uniting, he said. Just as planned. Vega replied, Do you predict they will locate us? Rourke smiled faintly. No. They'll find what we want them to find. Back on the Varn flagship, Herrick ran into Zelthor's chamber. Commander, we've intercepted a strange transmission. What kind of transmission? It came from deep space, coordinates unknown. It's only 2 words. Read it, Zelthor ordered. Herrick swallowed. Welcome back. The room went silent. Even the machines stopped humming, as if listening. Zelthor leaned forward. They're mocking us. Herrick looked pale. Or, they're warning us again. Far from them, in the cold emptiness of space, thousands of human ships drifted quietly, cloaked and waiting. Inside the Erebus, Vega's voice broke the silence. Phase 3 is ready, Captain. Should we begin? Rourke looked at the holographic galaxy map. Entire systems blinked like fragile lights. His eyes narrowed. No, he said slowly. Let them come closer. Let them think they're winning. He turned to the window, watching the stars. They think we're ghosts. They haven't seen what happens when ghosts fight back. And somewhere, far away, a single alien probe finally caught a blurry image of something massive. Too fast to analyze, too dark to define. The probe transmitted for 3 seconds before disappearing. Its last transmission showed a human symbol, a small blue Earth surrounded by stars. Then the screen went black. The Galactic Council was restless. Every fleet in the galaxy was on high alert. Reports of ghost attacks had spread like wildfire. Ships vanished. Colonies fell silent. Now, the Council feared humanity was hiding somewhere, an impenetrable base, a secret command center from which they controlled the war. Commander Zelthor's fleet moved cautiously toward the coordinates where the last ghost attack had been traced. Every system along the path was checked twice, thrice. Nothing. No ships, no signals, no life. Yet the evidence was clear. Someone had been there. Someone had destroyed entire planets without leaving a trace. This is madness, Herrick muttered. How do you fight an enemy you cannot see? Zelthor's claws drummed against the railing of the bridge. We don't fight them like normal enemies. We trap them. We find their base and destroy it. Meanwhile, aboard the Erebus, Captain Rourke watched the Council fleet from deep space. His smile was calm, almost cruel. They think they can find us, he said to Vega. Let them believe it. We'll give them a taste of fear. Vega's core pulsed softly. Phase 4 preparations are complete. Rourke nodded. Good. Initiate the decoy. In a distant star system, the humans had created a phantom, an entire fleet and base made of illusions and holograms. The base appeared massive, alive, full of activity. Lights blinked on the surface of a small planet. Communication towers projected signals across the sector. Drones flew in patterns as if protecting the surface. But it was all fake. A perfect trap. The alien fleets arrived first. Zelthor's command ship Tyrant's Flame hovered above the planet, scanning every inch. "Sensors are detecting life," he said, voice low with suspicion. "But readings are odd. Power levels are inconsistent. Energy signatures fluctuate, almost like a mirage." Herrick frowned. Could it be a ghost? Or some human trick? "Could be," Zelthor replied. "But we cannot take chances. Prepare for attack." The fleets descended cautiously. Their weapons were ready, shields activated. Missiles streaked across the sky, energy beams lit the darkness of space, but none of them hit the planet's surface. Every projectile passed through thin, flickering walls of light. The base seemed solid, but nothing was solid. On the holographic screens inside the base, Rourke watched every reaction. He leaned back, calm. "They're falling for it exactly as we hoped." Herrick's voice broke the tension. "Commander, sensors, the base is changing. Structures are moving." Zelthor froze. "Impossible. Energy readings are unstable, but something is manipulating them." On the planet's surface, or what appeared to be the surface, alien soldiers prepared to land. Zelthor's fleet issued orders to deploy reconnaissance teams. But as the first shuttles approached, the illusion reacted. Holographic walls expanded, forming massive spikes. Artificial drones, mere projections of light, flew toward the ships. Lasers shot out, but harmlessly passed through shields. The aliens panicked. Zelthor bellowed orders. "Hold your ground. Do not fire indiscriminately." But the illusion was relentless. Holographic explosions, phantom fleets, and endless illusions of human soldiers created chaos. The alien scanners could not distinguish reality from projection. "This is psychological warfare," Herrick whispered, awe and fear in his voice. Zelthor clenched his claws. "No. This is human genius. We have underestimated them." Far above, the Erebus observed silently. Rourke's eyes were sharp. "Notice how quickly they lose control," he said. "They're trying to find us, but they cannot see the difference between truth and illusion. Patience is our weapon." Back on the bridge of Tyrant's Flame, Zelthor made a decision. "Recall the landing teams. Pull back to orbit. We will recalibrate sensors. There must be a real base here. This cannot be all trickery." But even as he gave the order, a transmission arrived on their secure channel. It was brief, simple. "You see only what we allow. You know nothing. Humans." The message caused a stir among the alien commanders. Some shouted orders to retaliate. Others stared at their screens in disbelief. No one knew what to do. On the Erebus, Rourke closed the observation window. "Phase 4 complete," he said softly. "They are scared. And the war has only just begun." Lieutenant Niles watched from a side console. She shook her head. "We're playing with fire," she muttered. "If they realize the base is fake." Rourke's voice cut through, calm and commanding. "Then they will learn the cost of underestimating humans." Outside, the alien fleet struggled to regain order. Energy beams flashed across space, ships spun out of control, and some even fired at each other by mistake. Panic spread faster than any virus. The Council realized one terrifying truth. These humans were not just fighting, they were controlling the battlefield from the shadows, manipulating reality itself. And somewhere, hidden beyond detection, the real human base continued its silent operations. Its position unknown. Its technology unmatched. Its soldiers waiting. For the aliens, the war had begun. But they didn't yet know the rules. Because the humans had already rewritten them. The Galactic Council fleets had retreated from the Phantom base, shaken and confused. Their sensors were useless. Their scouts could not distinguish reality from illusion. And most importantly, no one knew where the humans actually were. Commander Zelthor stood on the bridge of Tyrant's Flame, his claws gripping the railing. "We underestimated them," he admitted. though his pride refused to show fear. But this ends. We will find the humans, and we will destroy them. Herrick frowned. Sir, with all due respect, they are already destroying us. Every step we take, they are one step ahead. Zelthor's eyes burned with determination. Then we will be unpredictable. We will divide our fleets, and force them to act. Meanwhile, deep in the void, Captain Aidan Rourke watched the Council's fleet movements through the stealth sensors of the Erebus. Hundreds of human ships moved in hidden formation, cloaked, invisible to any alien scanner. They're moving faster than expected, Lieutenant Sarah Niles noted, tension in her voice. If we strike now. Rourke turned to her, expression calm as ever. We don't strike to kill. We strike to control. Panic is the weapon. Confusion is the battlefield. Outside, the first skirmish began. A single alien reconnaissance ship had ventured too close to one of the hidden human strike fleets. In an instant, its engines shut down. Power systems failed. Communications were cut. And then, it vanished. The alien crew panicked. Emergency lights flickered across the control room as alarms blared. Sensors couldn't detect anything. No ship. No life signs. Nothing. On the Erebus, Rourke's voice came through a secure channel. Target neutralized. Move to the next point. Keep them guessing. Zelthor's fleet detected the disappearance immediately. What? Another attack. Where did it go? Herrick's voice trembled. I don't understand, sir. It's like they erased the ship. Zelthor gritted his teeth. Then we engage manually. Send in the interceptors. Lock onto every possible signal. The interceptors launched, weaving through space at high speed. But the humans were waiting. Cloaked ships appeared from nowhere, striking with precision. Alien craft were disabled, not destroyed. Energy fields disrupted. Engines stalled. Ships spun out of control, colliding with each other. Back on Erebus, Rourke observed every move. Notice how they panic, he said. Fear multiplies mistakes. The more they try, the worse it gets. Lieutenant Niles watched the holographic projection of the battlefield, unease growing. Captain, isn't this dangerous? They could detect us if we push too far. Rourke's calm voice reassured her, though there was steel behind it. Then we let them think they are close. Then, we vanish again. In the council chambers, alien leaders were desperate. We cannot fight what we cannot see, one shouted. Every fleet is crippled before it even engages. They're using advanced cloaking, another admitted. But it's more than cloaking, it's manipulation of space-time fields. Nothing our scientists have ever seen. Zelthor refused to accept defeat. We will strike their heart, he growled. Even if it costs us everything. The first major battle had begun. In the darkness of space, human fleets moved with silent precision. Alien weapons fired blindly, energy beams slicing through empty void. Every attempt to attack was anticipated. Every fleet movement was controlled. Herrick watched as the alien cruisers faltered. Sir, I think they are playing with us. They are, Zelthor said quietly. And I will not allow them to win. Suddenly, a massive holographic projection appeared across the battlefield, a human soldier, colossal in size, made of light and energy, waving at the alien fleet. It was a psychological strike, showing them power beyond imagination. Alien crews froze in terror. Ships dropped out of formation. Panic spread like wildfire. On the Erebus, Rourke leaned forward. Phase 5 begins. Lieutenant Niles swallowed. Phase 5. He looked at her, calm and confident. We've shown them the Ghost Fleet. Now we show them we control every move. Back on the Council fleet, Zelthor's voice roared over the comms. All units, hold formation. Do not retreat. But even as he spoke, a human cloaked strike group struck again. Several cruisers lost power simultaneously. Communications blacked out. The alien fleet staggered. Zelthor realized the terrifying truth. They were fighting not just ships, but an enemy that could manipulate the battlefield itself. The humans were not just hiding. They were controlling reality. The first strike had ended, but the shockwaves rippled across the galaxy. Entire fleets had been crippled without a single alien casualty. Panic replaced strategy. Fear replaced command. And somewhere, hidden in the shadows, Rourke smiled. Humanity had made its mark. The galaxy had underestimated them once. Now, they would pay the price. The shock from the first human strike had barely faded when the Galactic Council convened an emergency meeting. Alien leaders from dozens of species crowded the massive chamber, voices overlapping, claws and tentacles pointing, shrieking, and arguing. "We cannot continue like this," a ZYRTH commander shouted. "Entire fleets are disappearing before our eyes." "The humans are too advanced," a reptilian ambassador hissed. "They manipulate space, control energy, erase our ships. How do we fight that?" Commander Zelthor slammed his claw on the table. "We will fight. We will unite every fleet and crush them." Council leaders exchanged wary glances. None had the confidence that the humans were even human. They didn't look like any alien species ever catalogued. They didn't behave like any known civilization. Yet they had destroyed dozens of fleets without revealing themselves. Zelthor's plan was simple. Combine all fleets into one massive armada and sweep the human-controlled sectors. "Prepare every ship for maximum firepower," he ordered. "We strike together. We will leave no shadow untouched." Meanwhile, aboard the Erebus, Captain Rourke monitored the Council's movements through stolen transmissions and stealth sensors. He barely reacted. "They are predictable," he said, almost bored. "When they unite, they show their strength, but also their weakness. One target, one decision, and chaos will follow." Lieutenant Sarah Niles leaned forward at the console. "Captain, they are sending every ship at once. If they find our base..." Rourke shook his head. "They won't. This is the first time they're playing in a real battlefield. Let's see how they handle fear and confusion." On a distant asteroid, hundreds of cloaked human strike vessels waited. Their engines idled silently, invisible to alien sensors. The humans had prepared decoys, cloaked corridors, and false signals. Every jump point the Council fleet used had been carefully manipulated. "Phase 6 begins," Rourke said quietly. "Activate the traps." The alien fleets advanced, shining lights across the void as if challenging the darkness. They believed strength in numbers would overcome the invisible enemy. They did not realize the battlefield itself had been manipulated. The first wave entered the preset human corridor, thinking it led to the human base. Energy fields suddenly fluctuated. Gravity shifted unpredictably. Ships collided with invisible barriers. Some tried to turn back, but the path had vanished, replaced by illusions of endless star fields. Inside the alien fleet, panic spread. "Formation broken," one captain yelled. "We're lost in the corridor." Zelthor struggled to keep command. "Focus. Focus on sensors. Use every scanner." But the humans had already anticipated it. Cloaked strike ships appeared at multiple points, disabling power grids, communication links, and engine systems without a single direct attack. The aliens couldn't even fire. They didn't know where the ships were. Rourke observed every fleet movement carefully. "Do not destroy too much too soon," he instructed Vega. "Let them believe they are winning, then we trap them completely." Lieutenant Niles frowned. "Captain, the Council fleet is massive. If even one ship breaks through..." "They won't," Rourke said calmly. "Patience. Humans do not strike blindly. They strike with precision." The Council fleet commander, Zelthor, realized his mistake too late. They had fallen into a labyrinth of false signals, invisible mines, and manipulated sensor fields. Hundreds of ships were disabled in minutes. Energy beams crossed paths, accidentally hitting friendly ships. Chaos reigned. Herrick whispered, voice trembling. Sir, they've taken control of the battlefield, without firing a single shot. Zelthor's eyes blazed with fury. Then we adapt. We must fight their minds, not just their ships. Meanwhile, a small human fleet appeared behind the council lines, striking isolated cruisers. Power cores failed, shields collapsed, and communication arrays were fried. Alien captains struggled to issue commands. This is impossible, one said, panic rising in his voice. On the Erebus, Rourke allowed a rare smile. Let them believe they are attacking. They are learning the cost of underestimating humanity. The Council fleets retreated, battered and confused. Entire systems that had been cleared for attack now appeared hostile, false, or unreachable. The alien leaders realized a terrifying truth. The humans were not just invisible. They were untouchable. Zelthor clenched his claws. We will regroup. We will find them. And when we do, Rourke's voice echoed quietly across the galaxy's void. They will wish they never tried. The first true counteroffensive had failed. Not because the aliens lacked strength, but because they had underestimated a species that had watched, learned, and waited for the perfect moment. Humanity had revealed only a fraction of their power. And the galaxy would soon discover that humans didn't fight like anyone else. They fought like the ghosts of the future. Somewhere in the darkness, cloaked ships returned to the hidden base, engines silent. Inside, the humans prepared for the next wave. Every strategy of the Council had been observed, predicted, and manipulated. Captain Rourke stood before a holographic map of the galaxy. The war has begun, he said softly. But they still do not understand who the real enemy is. Lieutenant Niles whispered, almost to herself. Do they ever? Rourke turned, eyes sharp. They will. Soon enough. And in the void between stars, the galaxy shivered. Humanity had arrived, not to negotiate, not to surrender, but to dominate. The Council fleets had regrouped after the failed counteroffensive, battered but unwilling to admit defeat. Every commander knew they were up against something beyond their understanding. The humans had not only outsmarted them, they had rewritten the rules of space warfare. Commander Zelthor stood on the bridge of Tyron's flame, eyes burning with determination. We cannot retreat. We cannot show weakness. Every fleet must move forward. We will strike them at the heart. Herrick shook his head. Sir, the humans are controlling the battlefield. If we attack again, they will anticipate every move. Zelthor clenched his claws. Then we move unpredictably. Every species, every ship, every weapon, fire at will. Let chaos become their weakness. But far from the Council fleets, Captain Aidan Rourke of the Erebus had already predicted this. Hundreds of human ships waited silently in the void, cloaked, engines idle. Their target was clear, the Council's command fleet. Phase 7, Rourke said to Vega, the AI. Initiate. The humans didn't attack directly. Instead, cloaked strike vessels disabled navigation arrays on the Council's forward fleets. Engines stalled, sensors failed, and communication channels went dark. Alien crews panicked, unable to locate the source of the sabotage. Zelthor's voice roared across the bridge. Identify the enemy. Fire at anything moving. But nothing moved. The humans remained hidden, controlling every system from the shadows. Entire fleets collided with one another, weapons fired blindly, and chaos spread like wildfire. From above, Rourke watched the holographic map of the battlefield. They think they can fight together, he murmured. Let's test how they handle fear. Suddenly, dozens of cloaked human frigates appeared behind the Council's lines. They struck with precision, disabling power cores and shields. Cruisers drifted helplessly as humans manipulated their movement from a distance. Not a single human ship was lost. Inside the Tyron's flame, Herrick's claws trembled. Sir, they've trapped us. Entire fleets are disabled. Zelthor's eyes narrowed. Then we adapt. We fight their minds, not their ships. But even as he ordered emergency maneuvers, the humans released their final trap, holographic decoys of massive fleets appearing in multiple sectors at once. Alien commanders could not distinguish the real threat from the illusion. Panic spread. Ships fired on each other. Systems overloaded. Rourke watched silently. "Observe," he said to Niles. "When they believe they are winning, they are weakest." Lieutenant Niles shivered. They're brilliant. This is more than strategy. This is psychological warfare." "Yes," Rourke replied softly. "And we are patient hunters." Back on the battlefield, the Council fleet collapsed. Entire squadrons were disabled. Communication with several command ships was lost. Alien leaders panicked, realizing that their numbers were meaningless against an enemy they could not see. Zelthor's face turned pale. "Sir, we are losing control," Herrick said, barely whispering. "Then we retreat," Zelthor growled. "We cannot fight them head-on, not yet." But the humans did not let them escape easily. Cloaked ships blocked the fastest routes. Navigation systems failed. Engines jammed. Alien fleets drifted helplessly, trapped by invisible hands. On the Erebus, Rourke finally spoke aloud, almost as if savoring the moment. "Phase 7 complete. They've learned to fear humans. Not just as opponents, but as predators they cannot see." Lieutenant Niles stared at the holographic map, awe and dread in her eyes. "Captain, we've crippled their fleets without firing a single lethal shot." Rourke nodded. "Exactly. This is only the beginning. Fear is more powerful than weapons. Chaos is more powerful than numbers." Across the galaxy, word spread of the human victory. Fleets from multiple species reported strange attacks, systems failing, and ships disappearing. Panic gripped the Council. Alien scientists scrambled to understand the technology they had encountered. Every analysis failed. Humanity's methods were beyond comprehension. Back on Earth's hidden colonies, humans quietly prepared for the next phase. Communications were precise. Every move of the Council fleet had been recorded, analyzed, and anticipated. Rourke stood before the holographic galaxy map. The Council believes they are still strong. They believe they can retaliate. Lieutenant Niles asked softly, "Do they have any idea what's coming next?" Rourke's eyes gleamed. "No. And that is why they will lose. We are not fighting their fleets. We are rewriting the war. And the galaxy will learn what humanity is capable of." In the void, as the remnants of the Council fleet retreated in chaos, a single message appeared across all channels, silent but unmistakable. "The hunters have arrived." The message vanished before anyone could respond. And somewhere, hidden beyond sensors and eyes, humanity waited. The tides had turned. The first major victory was theirs, and the galaxy would never be the same. The galaxy was in chaos. The Council fleets, once proud and confident, were now scattered and crippled. Entire squadrons had been disabled. Commanders argued over strategies, but fear had replaced courage. The humans had not only defeated their fleets, they had humiliated them without revealing themselves. Commander Zelthor's flagship, Tyron's Flame, drifted at the edge of a star system. His claws clenched the railing. "We cannot keep retreating," he growled. "We must strike them directly, even if it costs us everything." Herrick shook his head, trembling. "Sir, we don't even know where they are. They control the battlefield. They manipulate space and energy. Every move we make, they anticipate." Zelthor's eyes burned. "Then we fight what we can. Every ship, every weapon. We cannot surrender." Meanwhile, aboard the Erebus, Captain Aidan Rourke watched the Council's desperate attempts unfold. Hundreds of human ships waited in hidden formations, cloaked and silent, like predators circling their prey. "They think they can corner us," Rourke said quietly. "Let them come closer." Every decision they make is exactly what we want. Lieutenant Sarah Niles studied the holographic projection of the Council fleets. Captain, if they find even one real human ship, they will destroy it immediately. Are we taking too much risk? Rourke shook his head. No. This is the final phase. They are blind. They cannot see us. They cannot imagine what we are capable of. As the Council fleets advanced toward the sector they believed was humanity's base, the humans struck. Cloaked ships emerged behind enemy lines, disabling engines, communications, and weapon systems. Ships collided, shields failed, and entire squadrons drifted helplessly. From the Erebus, Rourke watched, calm and precise. Phase 8. Begin the psychological strike. Suddenly, holographic projections appeared across the battlefield. Massive human soldiers, colossal ships, entire fleets made of energy, moving in patterns the aliens could barely comprehend. Fear spread like wildfire. Alien captains hesitated, unsure what was real. They fired at illusions, wasting energy and resources. Zelthor's voice roared over comms. Focus. Don't fall for illusions. But the humans had predicted this. Cloaked strike teams disabled command ships, leaving the aliens with no coordinated response. Confusion spread. Chaos multiplied. The Council fleets were collapsing from within. Rourke allowed himself a faint smile. Observe, Lieutenant. This is why humans survive. We do not fight like others. We fight like hunters. Niles nodded, awe in her eyes. They'll never forget this. In a final move, the humans revealed themselves, briefly, just enough to leave a mark. Drones projected images of human ships and soldiers in full formation, moving with unmatched speed and precision. Alien scanners registered them, but by the time they could respond, the humans were gone, vanished into the darkness. Zelthor could only watch, fury and disbelief on his face. They're everywhere, and nowhere. The Council fleets attempted to retreat, but escape routes had been manipulated. Cloaked human ships blocked every jump point. Alien vessels drifted helplessly, trapped by forces they could neither see nor fight. Rourke observed the final moment. Phase 9 complete. The Council fleets are crippled. The galaxy has learned who controls the battlefield. Lieutenant Niles whispered, Captain, we've won. Truly won. Rourke nodded. Not just won. We have shown them what humanity is. And from this day forward, every species will remember the humans, not as a weak planet to ignore, but as hunters, strategists, and survivors unlike any other. Across the galaxy, signals spread. Alien fleets reported disappearing fleets, disabled command centers, and unreachable sectors. Word of humanity's power spread faster than any communication system could handle. Fear replaced arrogance. Respect replaced doubt. And somewhere, hidden beyond sensors and eyes, humans prepared for the next era. They had proven themselves. They had survived. They had dominated. Captain Rourke stood alone on the observation deck of the Erebus, looking at the stars. The galaxy thought it knew power, he murmured. It never knew humans. Lieutenant Niles joined him quietly. Do you think they'll ever challenge us again? Rourke's eyes gleamed. They will try. But humanity doesn't fight like anyone else. And they will learn. Always too late. The stars glimmered silently as human ships returned to the shadows. The Council fleets were broken. Entire systems were now under observation. Humanity had not only won battles, they had rewritten the rules of the galaxy. And in the quiet of space, a single message appeared on every Council network, impossible to trace, simple and haunting. We are here. We are watching. We are humans. For the first time in galactic history, an entire species had reminded the universe that underestimating humanity was the gravest mistake anyone could make. The war was over, for now. But the legend of humanity, the hidden hunters of the stars, had just begun.